Welcome everybody to the World Institute on Disabilities Equity video series. I'm Kat.
And I'm Tom.
And today we're going to be talking about credit.
And credit scores.
And credit scores. So tell me, why is credit important?
That's a great question. You know, more so than probably at any point in U.S. history, credit and credit scores are becoming a really important piece of getting loans and really your whole financial future. So, for example, a credit score is something that's used when people are looking at making loans or providing credit. So that could be anything from an automobile loan to a mortgage to student loans, and it can make a really big difference too. So like the difference on a home mortgage will be reflected in the interest rate you pay, and that can make a difference of tens of thousands of dollars over the life of a mortgage. Same thing with a car loan. We've seen people with low credit scores have to pay much higher interest rates, and it pushes their payment up by $100 a month or more. So really, having good credit and a nice high credit score can make a big difference in your monthly outlays. Not only that, but you know, more and more today, lots of other people are really requiring credit scores as well. So if you want to get a new cell phone or a new cell phone plan, they're going to look at your credit score. If you need to turn on utilities, they're going to look at your credit score. Renting an apartment, they're going to look at your credit score. Even insurance companies these days are beginning to use credit scores, sometimes to even determine whether or not you qualify for certain types of insurance. You know, one of the other emerging trends is that employers are even beginning to look at credit scores and making it part of the hiring process. So credit scores really are becoming an important financial tool that people need to pay attention to.
So how do I get my credit report? And will it cost me money?
Great question. No, it doesn't have to cost you money, but of course there are organizations out there that would be happy to charge you for it. So there's an organization called annualcreditreport.com, and their website, oddly enough, is at annualcreditreport.com. And you can go there and get a free credit report once a year from each of the main credit reporting agencies. It's a really good resource, and you can download it when you're there. Make sure you download or print it, because you can only go to it once every year for each report. There's also a great organization called creditkarma.com. I use that one myself, and it's a nice, accessible web page for screen readers, and they even give you tips about how you can improve your credit.
So I go online and I get this credit report. It's going to be completely accurate, right?
Yeah, not so much. We've actually seen some research that says that nearly 70% of credit reports have an error on it. So once you get your free credit report, it's really important that you go through it and make sure that there are no errors on there. If there is an error, it's pretty easy. You just write a letter to the credit reporting agency that has the error on the report, and they're actually pretty good about taking it off. Sometimes it takes 30 days, sometimes 60 days. We were working with a guy who was buying a house recently, and he pulled his credit report just before buying the house, and his ex-wife's bankruptcy was listed under his name, and he had been divorced for like 15 years. So he wrote a letter, got it removed, his credit score went up, he actually qualified for a lower interest rate, so it really worked out well for him.
All right, Tom, we've got 90 seconds left, and I have here the components of a credit score. So, ready for this?
Bring it.
Payment history.
Okay, payment history. This will surprise no one. If you pay your bills on time, your credit score will be better. If you don't pay your bills on time, they will lower your credit score. This is about 35% of your credit score.
All right, amounts owed.
So let's say you have $10,000 in credit available to you. If you're using all $10,000 of it, makes people nervous. So the credit reporting agencies want to see that about 40% or less is used. If you want to increase your credit, 20% or less is most desirable. This is about 30% of your credit score.
Length of credit history.
This one's really interesting. So obviously the longer you've had credit, the better from the credit reporting agency standpoint and from your score standpoint. So if you've got some credit cards that you've maybe had for 20 or 30 years that you never use, keep them around, because that will make your overall credit longevity longer. I've seen some people who get rid of really old accounts, and it can really hurt their credit score.
New credit.
New credit. This one's kind of weird. It goes in a couple of different ways. So if you have like a brand new home mortgage on your credit report, or if you have an automobile loan that's kind of new, that can help your credit. But if there's maybe been 8 or 9 or 10 credit inquiries on your account in the last month or so, that's gonna not help your credit. Important to know that asking for your credit report does not count as a credit inquiry, so don't be afraid to do that.
And lastly, types of credit used.
So again, credit reporting agencies want to see that you've had access to different types of credit, so maybe a credit card or two, an automobile loan, a home mortgage. That's going to help your credit report. So, check out Equity's issue on credit at www.wid.org/equity and let us know what you think.